Hello YouTubers, let's talk about a new pattern here in our series, C# patterns. This pattern is very interesting. It's called the observer pattern. The observer pattern is basically the idea of having a subject and have observer. And when this subject changes, it notifies its observers. A good example here, I have a little bit of visual in here that you might like. So let's say you have a bunch of candidates. You have Jane and John, right? And these guys are looking for jobs. So they went to Microsoft and they talked to the recruiters. And they said, hey, Microsoft, when you have a job opening, please send us an alert or a notification. So Jane and John in this case are observers, and Microsoft as an entity is a subject. You know, when Microsoft has opening for jobs, it will send an email to John and Jane. How do we visualize that in a real life as a computer program? Let's go ahead and here write some code, right? So let's go ahead and first build a company, right? And this company is going to be our subject, the observed subject, right? So let's go ahead here and say this company will have a list of candidates, right? We're going to go ahead and build the candidates layer, right? So this is candidates. There you go, right? Let's put that in the constructor. That'd be better, right? And in addition to the candidates, it also has a bunch of job openings, right? And I'm going to use something here a little bit. It might not be very familiar. So the observable collection. An observable collection is something that triggers a function every time an event happens to that collection. In our case here, when a new job comes in the pool, it will notify all these folks. So let's build here another one that we're going to call observable collection. Right? The observable collection basically will be it's basically a list that has a little bit more power than just the normal list, and it will have a job. Let's call it an opportunity. Right? Opportunities. Let's build the constructor. So our candidates in here, we'll just initialize both of these. The initialization and the opportunities will be a little bit, teeny tiny bit different. The difference here is that the opportunities will have a little bit more, which is when an event when the collection changes. So let's say collection change, right? And then we're gonna pass in a method that gets executed when that collection changes. So when you get a new job, you know what's basically going to happen is that it's going to notify that collection is going to change. It's going to notify, you know, that something has changed. In that case, we will notify all the candidates, right? So let's add a handler in here. So let's say collection changed event, right? I didn't build that yet. We're going to build a lot of things in here. So let's go ahead and just fix the little errors that we have. I'm just going to go here and generate a class for candidate and generate a class for opportunity like this. We're going to go and fill in all of these in a second. And then we have the collection changed event. Let's go ahead and build that one. So it's void collection changed event. And this will take a sender and a collection. I think it was notify. Let me make sure here I get the, yeah, notify collection changed event. Double check here to make sure that I'm getting the right thing. Boom. Notify collection change events arg, right? Let's call it event args, right? So right, when the collection change, what we care about, if the event arg dot action that we added a new job, right? Go ahead and notify the candidates that we have. right? So for every candidate, go ahead and notify that candidate about the new job that we have. You see what I'm doing here? And we're gonna work with that in a second, right? Let's add a functionality that allows us to add candidates and remove candidates, right? So we have the notify, we have the opportunities, right? So in the candidate first, let's go ahead and do. It's not an internal class. Visual Studio is trying to be too smart. Public class candidate, like this. And let's say every candidate has a name, just so we can distinguish one candidate from the other. But on the other hand, every candidate as well has a notify method, like this. And with this notify method, we're just going to have it do console write line and say that this, hold on, this dot name has been notified about the new opportunity, like that. You know, while we're at it, why don't we just pass the opportunity as well? So let's say opportunity, like that. Right? So we're passing in an opportunity. We're doing console write line just to test and see if we're actually notifying these candidates, right? Fantastic. Let's go to the opportunity part. Again, Visual Studio is too smart. And then let's just say what opportunity this is. So let's say name. What's the name of that opportunity, right? Like that. Right? So in the company part, there's still more things that we need to do. Let's fix that one real quick. Candidate. Candidate. All right. Just making sure I'm writing the right things here. Candidate. Like that. All right. Where's the company? Candidate. There you go. Just a misspelling. I don't know how to spell. Here's a candidate. Here's another candidate. And every candidate in here has a notify method. Right? Every candidate in here has a notify method. So if I go and say to the candidate software engineer like this, right? It'll tell me, you know, I actually wanna get the actual value that happened, that occurred, right? And so anyways, let's stick with that for a second. Software engineer, we're notifying. Perfect. Now we just want to have a way to add candidates and remove candidates. So I want to build here another function that's going to call attach or add candidates. So these are the candidates that are going to be added to our candidate pool. So candidate, and then this candidates.add, and then we want to add that new candidate. The same thing, we want to do the same thing for notifications. We want to go and say, sorry, for the removal. So we want to say remove candidate. And candidate, same thing. This.candidates.remove. And here I remove the candidate. Right? What about the opportunities? We want to be able to add setters and getters for the opportunities. Let's see if we can just do that. Set get opportunities, or we could just add them as. Let's see what Visual Studio is proposing here. We could just simply do something like opportunities. What's that? All right, these are opportunities, and then let's add, just have a function that says add opportunities, an opportunity. right? And this will be add opportunities.add, and then the opportunity that I'm passing in as an input parameter. Oh. So you see what happens here? I have two lists. One is for opportunities and one for candidates. And when an opportunity is added, it will notify all the candidates about the new opportunity. That's a beautiful example for observer pattern. Let's test that, right? Let's go ahead and build a company. Right? And then let's add a bunch of candidates to that company, right? So here's a candidate, and let's just give him a name. Let's say Hassan. Let's add another candidate. I should have called this method add candidate, not candidates. That's misleading. So let's call this Josh, for instance, right? All right, great. What else do we want to do? We want to add a bunch of opportunities, right? So the company dot add opportunity, new opportunity, and then the new opportunity, let's say it's a software engineer. Right? The expectation here is when I add an opportunity, it will publish that new opportunity to every candidate that's on my list. Is that the case? Is that how it's going to work? Let's find out. There you go. Hassan has been notified about a new opportunity software engineer. Josh has been notified about the new opportunity software engineer. Beautiful, right? But this solution is not complete, right? Because you know what I'm really doing in here is that I am notifying about the about a hard-coded opportunity. So let's fix that. I want to add other opportunities and see how that works, right? So event args dot I think new items. Right, and because we're only adding one item, I'm just going to do a little hack in here and say just give me one. So first, let's see, 0 in here, and that just represent that. That's encapsulated because it doesn't know what these new. It expects those new items. Let's just encapsulate that. Let's just say this is a new item dot. Let's encapsulate that real quick as an opportunity. So this here is an opportunity, right? And now out of that opportunity, we want to get out the name. So now this is better. That's what I'm talking about because I'm only adding one. I could iterate through all the new ones. So instead of software engineer, let's say looking for a program manager. The expectation here is when I run my application, it'll say I notified these folks about a program manager. Now we're talking. Right here we have a bunch of opportunities, right? And see, I want you to visualize what I'm doing here. This is what the observer pattern is all about. You know, you're adding in a bunch of people, and when a new opportunity comes in, you're publishing across all the candidates that applied to your company, right? That's it. You could use that in a lot of things. If you have any questions, comments, if you think I did something wrong or did something right, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another software patterns video. Thank you for watching.